The text came through at 6:47 a.m., 3 weeks before the party. Emma, we need to talk about your appearance for the gender reveal. Can you do something about the hair situation? Maybe a really good wig. The photos are going to be everywhere. I stared at my phone from the infusion chair. The IV drip fed cisplatin into my port. My 4th round of chemotherapy for ovarian cancer. My reflection in the darkened phone screen showed the reality Brittany wanted hidden, completely bald, eyebrows gone, skin pale from months of treatment. I typed back with my free hand. I'll be there. That's what matters, right? The response came immediately. That's not an answer. This is my day. I've planned this for months. I can't have you looking sick in every picture. The nurse adjusting my IV noticed my expression. Everything okay, honey? Just family stuff. I set the phone face down on the armrest, but the messages didn't stop. Over the next week, Brittany sent links to realistic wig websites, makeup tutorials for cancer patients, and articles about looking your best during treatment. Each message felt like a small cut, precise and stinging. Then came the schedule conflict. My oncologist, Dr. Patricia Martinez, had mapped out my treatment protocol months in advance. Every 3 weeks like clockwork. The timing wasn't flexible. The drugs worked on a specific cellular cycle. Missing a session or delaying it could compromise the entire treatment plan. Brittany's gender reveal party, Saturday, April 15th, 2 p.m. My scheduled chemotherapy session Saturday, April 15th, 1 p.m. I called her that evening. Britt, I just realized there's a conflict. My chemo is scheduled the same day as your party. Can we talk about maybe moving? Absolutely not. Her voice turned sharp. Emma, I sent save the dates 6 months ago. The venue is booked. We have 150 people coming. You can reschedule a doctor's appointment. It's not just an appointment, it's chemotherapy. I can't just. Other people manage to work around their families. My friend Angela had chemo and she still made it to my engagement party. She wore a beautiful scarf. Angela had breast cancer. Different protocol. Different. I don't want to hear excuses. Brittany's voice cracked. Do you know how much this party cost? How much planning went into this? This is the biggest day of my life, and you're trying to make it about you. I closed my eyes. I'm not trying to make it about anything. I'm just telling you I have chemotherapy. Then reschedule it. I can't. The drugs work on a specific fine. Then don't come. The line went dead. I sat in silence, phone pressed to my ear, listening to the dial tone. The next morning I received a group text. Brittany had created a new family thread, one that didn't include me. My mother screenshotted it and sent it to me privately. Update. Emma won't be attending the gender reveal due to scheduling conflicts. She chose a doctor's appointment over supporting her sister. Please don't bring it up at the party. I don't want negativity on our special day. My mother's message followed. Can't you talk to your doctor? Brittany's really hurt. I didn't respond. Instead, I forwarded everything to Dr. Martinez through the patient portal. The messages, the phone call summary, the group text. I wrote a simple note. This is happening with my family. I wanted you to be aware in case it affects my treatment compliance. Dr. Martinez called me within 2 hours. Emma, I need to ask you something directly. Are you feeling pressured to skip or delay your treatment? My sister wants me to reschedule my April 15th session. It's the same day as her party. Silence on the line. Then and you told her that's not medically advisable. Yes, she said I'm choosing a doctor's appointment over family. More silence. Emma, I'm going to document this conversation in your chart. What your sister is doing pressuring a cancer patient to delay treatment. That's a serious concern, especially given her profession. Her profession. Your intake form lists her as your emergency contact. Brittany Morgan, RN, Pediatric Oncology at St. Catherine's Hospital. My stomach dropped. I'd forgotten that detail. Brittany worked with children who had cancer. She spent 40 hours a week explaining to parents why they couldn't skip treatments, why timing mattered, why protocol adherence was life or death, and she was telling me to skip mine for a party. I'm going to make a note in your file, Dr. Martinez continued. And Emma, I want you to know, you can show your family this documentation if needed. What she's asking you to do is medically dangerous. Thank you. One more thing, if this continues, if she keeps pressuring you, I may need to report it. Nurses have ethical obligations that extend beyond the hospital. Pressuring a cancer patient to skip treatment, especially when she has the medical knowledge to know better, that could be considered a violation of professional standards. I hadn't thought about it that way. The pressure intensified. Brittany's fiancé, Derek, called. Emma, come on. It's one appointment. Britt's been crying for 3 days. Can't you just do this one thing for her? It's not one appointment. It's chemotherapy. It's scheduled for a reason. You're being selfish. This is her first baby. She's never asking you for anything again. I hung up. My mother called. Brittany showed me the messages. You're really not going to try to reschedule? Mom, I have cancer. The treatment. I know you have cancer. We all know. But Brittany's pregnant with her first child, and her only sister won't even try to be there for the gender reveal. Do you know how that makes her feel? Do you know how it makes me feel that she's asking me to skip chemotherapy? It's one session, Emma. One. I documented that call too. Then came the Facebook post. Brittany didn't mention me by name, but everyone knew. It's hard when family doesn't show up for your biggest moments. I've learned that blood doesn't always mean support. Surrounding myself with people who truly care. Blessed with chosen family #gender. Reveal #baby Morgan. The comments flooded in. Cousins, aunts, family, friends, all sending prayers and support to Brittany for whatever family member had disappointed her. My cousin Jessica messaged me privately. What did you do? Brit's devastated. I didn't respond to anyone. Instead, I screenshot the Facebook post, the comments, every text message, every voicemail. I uploaded everything to the patient portal with a new note. Continuing documentation of family pressure regarding treatment. Dr. Martinez called again the next day. Emma, I've reviewed everything you sent. I need your permission to take this further. What do you mean? Your sister is a licensed nurse in this state. She works in pediatric oncology. She knows professionally, explicitly knows, that cancer treatment timing is critical. She's pressuring you to skip chemotherapy for a social event. That's not just family drama. That's a nurse with oncology training telling a cancer patient to delay treatment. My hands felt cold. What are you saying? I'm saying I have an ethical obligation to report this. The state nursing board has guidelines about professional conduct, even outside the workplace. A nurse pressuring a vulnerable patient, even a family member, to skip cancer treatment, represents a fundamental violation of professional ethics. Will she get in trouble? That's not for me to determine, but the board will investigate. They'll review the evidence, interview relevant parties. At minimum, it goes in her file. Depending on their findings, it could affect her license. I thought about Brittany's career. She'd worked so hard for her RN, specialized in pediatric oncology, loved her job at St. Catherine's St. Then I thought about the Facebook post, the family group chat, the messages calling me selfish for not skipping chemotherapy. Do it, I said. File the report. You're sure? I'm sure. Dr. Martinez filed the complaint on April 8, 1 week before the scheduled gender reveal party. I went to my chemotherapy session on April 15. My mother called twice during the infusion. I didn't answer. Derek sent a long text about how I'd destroyed Brittany's special day. I blocked his number. The party happened without me. I saw the photos on Facebook. Pink decorations everywhere. Brittany crying with joy. Derek popping a confetti cannon. It's a girl. I sent a card with a gift card inside. Didn't include a note. 3 days later, Brittany called from an unknown number. What did you do? Her voice shook. I got a letter from the state nursing board. They're investigating me. They're talking about my license. Emma, my career. Did you report me? No, I said honestly. My oncologist did. Your oncologist. Why would she? Because you pressured a cancer patient to skip chemotherapy. And you're a nurse. An oncology nurse. You know better. It was one party, one day. I'm your sister. And I'm your sister with cancer. You asked me to risk my health for photos. I didn't think I wasn't. She started crying. This could destroy my career. St. Catherine's HR already called. They're putting me on administrative leave, pending the investigation. My chest felt tight. You asked me to skip chemo, Britt. I know I did. I was so focused on the party being perfect. And her voice broke completely. I work with kids who have cancer every single day. I know what skipping treatment means. I know, and I still asked you to do it. Silence stretched between us. The investigator wants to interview me, Brittany whispered. They have all the messages, everything. Derek's call, Mom's call, the Facebook post. They have everything. I documented everything, I said quietly. Every text, every call, every conversation. Why? Because I have cancer, Britt, and my own sister was more worried about her party photos than my treatment. I needed someone to know that was happening. More silence. I'm sorry, she finally said. Emma, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. The party, the baby, everything felt so important. And I made my cancer about you. Yes, her voice cracked. I made your cancer about me, and I'm a nurse. I should have known better. I did know better. Yeah, I said. You did. What happens now? I don't know. The board investigates. They make their determination. You deal with the consequences. Will you? She paused. Will you tell them I apologized? I looked at my reflection in the window. Still bald, still pale, still fighting. I'll tell them the truth, I said. That's all I've been doing. I hung up before she could respond. The chemotherapy worked. My latest scans showed significant reduction in tumor markers. Dr. Martinez said, if things continued this way, I'd move to maintenance protocol by summer. Brittany's investigation is ongoing. I received a letter from the nursing board asking if I wanted to provide a statement. I wrote 3 pages, detailed and factual. No emotion, just documentation. My mother hasn't spoken to me in 2 months. The family group chat continues without me. I see occasional screenshots from my cousin Jessica, who quietly supports me while staying neutral publicly. I don't know what the board will decide. I don't know if Brittany will keep her license. What I know is this: I went to every chemotherapy session. I followed the protocol. I'm getting better, and I documented everything. The dress had taken 4 months to make. Custom beaded lace, hand-sewn pearls, silk imported from Italy, $6,800. My designer, Mrs. Kowalski, had cried when I tried on the final version. You look like you stepped out of a fairy tale, she'd said. I'd brought it to my sister's apartment on a Thursday afternoon, 2 weeks before my wedding. I wanted to show her. Despite everything, despite the years of comments and competition, I wanted her to see it, to share this moment. Vanessa opened the door in her work clothes, dark blazer, pencil skirt. She was a licensed therapist, had her own practice downtown. Our parents were proud of her. Dr. Vanessa Torres, helping people heal their trauma. What's that? She nodded at the garment bag. My wedding dress. I wanted you to see it before Saturday. She stepped aside. Let me in. Her apartment was immaculate, decorated in grays and whites, clinical, professional. I unzipped the bag carefully, lifted the dress out. Vanessa stared at it. Something shifted in her face. You're actually wearing that. Her voice was flat. It's perfect, right? Mrs. Kowalski is an artist. It's a bit much. Very attention-seeking. I should have left then. I'd heard this tone before, but I kept hoping, kept trying. I thought you'd be happy for me. Vanessa walked to her kitchen, poured wine. I am happy. I just think you're being dramatic, as usual. It's my wedding day, Vanessa. She drank her wine, eyes on the dress. Do you remember when I got engaged to Marcus? I did, 4 years ago. The engagement had lasted 6 months before he'd ended it. You wore that red dress to my engagement party, Vanessa continued. Everyone looked at you instead of me. You always do this. That was 4 years ago. I didn't. You don't deserve to be prettier than me, she said quietly. She set down her wine glass, opened a drawer, pulled out kitchen scissors. I didn't move. I watched her walk toward my dress. Vanessa, don't. She grabbed the fabric. The scissors flashed. The first cut sliced through the bodice. Beads scattered across her floor, tiny crystals bouncing like dropped stars. She kept cutting. Through the lace, through the silk skirt, through the train I'd spent 3 fittings perfecting. I pulled out my phone, started recording. What are you doing? I asked. Voice steady. What I should have done years ago. She was breathing hard, cutting faster. You think you're so special. Perfect engagement, perfect dress, perfect life. This is my wedding dress. Not anymore. The dress fell in pieces. Months of work, thousands of dollars, destroyed in under 2 minutes. Vanessa dropped the scissors. Her hands were shaking. I stopped recording, switched to camera, photographed the shredded fabric on her floor, the scissors. Her face flushed and triumphant. You can leave now, she said. I gathered the pieces of my dress, put them back in the garment bag, carefully, like I could somehow save them. I didn't cry, didn't yell. I left. In my car, I sat for 20 minutes. Then I opened my laptop. Vanessa's professional license was public record. I pulled up her therapist profile on the state licensing board website, her practice information, her ethics requirements. Therapists in our state had to adhere to strict professional conduct standards. The code was clear. Licenses must demonstrate ethical behavior in both professional and personal conduct. Character matters when you're treating vulnerable people. I'd suspected Vanessa wasn't the therapist she pretended to be. 6 months ago, she'd posted on Instagram about a difficult client who was completely delusional about her marriage. She deleted it after an hour, but I'd screenshot it. Confidentiality violation. Right there. 3 months ago, a former client had left a review on a therapy directory site. anonymous, but detailed, describing a therapist who'd shared her own personal problems during sessions, who'd made the client comfort her, who'd violated professional boundaries. The review mentioned Vanessa's office address. I'd saved that too. I opened a new folder on my laptop, started organizing. Over the next 3 hours, I compiled everything. Attachment 1. Video of Vanessa destroying my dress, 47 seconds. Clear audio of "You don't deserve to be prettier than me." Attachment 2. Photos of destroyed dress, 6 angles, showing approximately $6,800 in damage. Attachment 3. Invoice from Mrs. Kowalski's boutique, proof of cost. Attachment 4. Screenshot of Vanessa's deleted Instagram post violating client confidentiality. Timestamp. Full text preserved. Attachment 5. Screenshot of anonymous client review describing boundary violations and emotional manipulation during therapy sessions. Included office address, matching Vanessa's practice. Attachment 6 text messages from Vanessa over the past 2 years. 18 messages, making derogatory comments about my relationship, appearance and career. Attachment 7. Vanessa's text from 3 weeks ago. Enjoy your wedding while you can. Your marriage won't last a year. Attachment 8. Photo evidence from 5 years earlier. Vanessa had accidentally spilled red wine on my college graduation dress the night before the ceremony. I documented it then, never used it. Attachment 9. Email from Vanessa's colleague. I'd reached out expressing concern about Vanessa's behavior toward clients, particularly her tendency to make sessions about herself. Attachment 10. State Licensing Board's Professional Conduct Code. Highlighted sections on character requirements, confidentiality, and professional boundaries. Attachment 11. Family group text thread, showing Vanessa's pattern of jealous, undermining behavior toward me over 8 years. Attachment 12. Statement I drafted documenting pattern of destructive, unethical behavior suggesting unfitness for therapeutic practice. Everything organized, everything documented, everything true. I drafted the email at 11:47 p.m. to State Board of Behavioral Health Examiners Ethics Committee CC, Vanessa's Professional Liability Insurance Provider CC, Building Management of Vanessa's Office Complex Subject, Formal Ethics Complaint Against Licensed Therapist, Vanessa Torres, License #TH47392. I kept it factual, no emotion, just evidence. I explained the dress destruction as an example of a broader pattern of behavior. I connected it to the confidentiality violations, the boundary issues, the client complaints. I wrote a mental health professional, who cannot regulate her own jealous rage, who destroys property out of envy, who violates client confidentiality, on social media, and who uses therapy sessions to seek emotional support from vulnerable clients, represents a significant risk to public welfare. I attached all 12 files. I hit send at 11:53 p.m. Then I sent a copy to the professional association Vanessa belonged to, and another to the insurance company that covered her malpractice. I went to bed. Friday morning my phone rang at 8:15 a.m. Unknown number. This is Dr. Patricia Wong from the State Board of Behavioral Health Examiners. I'm calling regarding the complaint filed last night against Vanessa Torres. Is this a good time? Yes, we've reviewed your submission. This is being treated as a priority investigation. Miss Torres has been notified that her license is under review. We need to schedule an interview with you. Of course, I want you to know, the evidence you provided, particularly the confidentiality violation, and the client complaint, these are extremely serious. Combined with the pattern of behavior you've documented, we're opening a full investigation. The interview was scheduled for Monday, at 9:47 a.m. Vanessa called. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. What did you do? I just got a letter from the licensing board. They're suspending my practice, pending an investigation. You can't do this. Call me back. I deleted it. At 10:30 a.m., my mother called. Your sister is hysterical. She says you reported her to her licensing board. She destroyed my wedding dress with scissors, Mom, and she's been violating client confidentiality and professional boundaries. The licensing board needed to know. Over a dress. You're going to ruin her career over a dress, over a pattern of unethical behavior that puts vulnerable people at risk. The dress was just the final incident. My mother hung up. Monday's interview with the licensing board lasted 3 hours. I walked them through everything. They'd already contacted the former client who'd left the review. She'd agreed to file a formal complaint. They'd found 2 other clients willing to come forward about boundary violations. Miss Torres's insurance company has been notified. Dr. Wong said. Her malpractice coverage may be revoked. Additionally, we're recommending immediate suspension of her license pending the outcome of our investigation. How long does the investigation take? Typically 3 to 6 months. Given the severity of the violations, particularly the confidentiality breach and client complaints, I anticipate her license will be revoked permanently. I nodded. You should know, Dr. Wong continued. You may have prevented serious harm. Therapists who violate boundaries often escalate. One of her former clients described sessions where your sister spent 45 minutes crying about her own problems, expecting the client to console her. That client was being treated for severe depression and suicidal ideation. I felt cold. I didn't know it was that bad. You did the right thing reporting this. My wedding was Saturday. I wore a different dress. Mrs. Kowalski had called in favors with designers, had created something beautiful in 5 days, simpler than the original, but perfect. Vanessa wasn't invited. She sent a text Saturday morning. I hope you're happy. I've lost everything. My practice is closed. My clients are gone. I can't pay my rent, all because you couldn't forgive one mistake. I blocked her number. The ceremony was beautiful, small, intimate. The people who mattered were there. During the reception, my phone buzzed with an email from State Board of Behavioral Health Examiners. Subject: Investigation Update. Vanessa Torres. Miss Torres's license has been suspended indefinitely. Our investigation has uncovered multiple ethics violations, spanning 18 months. 3 former clients have filed formal complaints. Her insurance provider has revoked her malpractice coverage. We will be proceeding with permanent license revocation. Additionally, one of Miss Torres's former clients wanted us to thank you for coming forward. She stated that the therapy relationship with Miss Torres had been harmful, and that your report prompted her to seek appropriate care. Thank you for bringing this matter to our attention. I showed my husband. He read it, then looked at me. Do you feel bad? I thought about it. About the dress and shreds on Vanessa's floor. About her saying I didn't deserve to be pretty. About the clients she'd harmed, the boundaries she'd violated, the confidences she'd broken. No, I said, I don't. 6 weeks later, Vanessa's practice officially closed. Her website went dark. Her professional profiles were deleted. She'd found a job as an administrative assistant at a dental office. $16 an hour. No license required. My mother called once more. Are you satisfied now? Your sister has nothing. She has exactly what her behavior earned her. I said, she's your sister. She destroyed my wedding dress out of jealousy. She violated her client's trust. She used vulnerable people for her own emotional needs. Being my sister doesn't exempt her from consequences. My mother didn't call again. 3 months after my wedding, I received a letter from Vanessa's former client, the one who'd been treated for depression. Dear Mrs. Harrison, I don't know if you remember me, but I was one of Vanessa Torres's clients. The licensing board told me you were the person who filed the initial complaint. I wanted to thank you. I spent 8 months in therapy with her, and I left every session feeling worse. She made me comfort her, listen to her problems, validate her feelings. I was suicidal, and she was using me as her personal support system. When I saw the licensing board's investigation, I finally understood it wasn't my fault, that what she did was wrong. I found a real therapist now, someone ethical. I'm getting actual help. You saved me by reporting her. Thank you. I kept the letter. Sometimes my husband asks if I think the punishment fit the crime. A career destroyed over a wedding dress. I show him the letter, remind him about the confidentiality violations, the boundary issues, the clients Vanessa harmed. It wasn't about the dress, I say. The dress just showed me who she really was, and who she was shouldn't have been treating vulnerable people. He nods, understands. Vanessa never apologized, never acknowledged what she'd done. Last I heard, she's still working at the dental office, still living in the same apartment, still alone. My custom wedding dress, the one she destroyed, is gone. But I have the photos from my actual wedding. The dress Mrs. Kowalski made in 5 days was more beautiful anyway. And somewhere 3 of Vanessa's former clients are getting real help from ethical therapists. The licensing board thanked me for reporting her. I'd do it again.